Mr. Levinson. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're welcome, Keith.
And now for people who want to know, that's Leesa Levinson, by the way. Yeah, I had a brain fart. Don't, you know what happens.
That's okay. It's all right.
Now for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored is my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome obstacles or goals, obstacles or roadblocks in my life. Obstacles or, whatever. And basically it's my way of turning myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any type of disability. But you should never label yourself or have people label you. And you should prove to them you can stem out to something. And now with that being said, I finally have a... I don't have the... I was going to use my phone for a sound effect, but I don't have the applause.
Okay.
Alright, I can work on that. But with that being said, it's half hour, 45 minutes. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want. This is your time, so I give you the open floor.
Oh my goodness. My name's Leesa Levinson. I am an actor, model, spokesperson, and founder of Lights Camera Access. I founded Lights Camera Access 7 years ago, and it's a charitable organization, nonprofit organization with charitable status. And what we do at Lights Camera Access LCA is we try and advance people with disabilities in the entertainment, media, arts, digital.
Well, if you're interested, I would love to work with you.
Oh, sounds good. I mean, sounds like something that we should definitely talk more about, huh?
Now, how did he create your company, and how did it all come about?
I myself have multiple sclerosis. I've had MS for actually over 25 years now, and I currently use a power wheelchair. But when I was ambulatory, I was also acting in stage, in musicals and comedies and theater. I was also working in the entertainment industry a lot. I worked a lot. Then what happened was, as my mobility became challenged and my MS kept getting worse, I used to have to use different mobility aids, like a cane, perhaps.
Right.
And then later on, it was a walker. And then finally, it was a wheelchair. And that actually was a good break for me because it was conserving my energy for other things that were better to do. But anyhow, so now I'm in the chair now for a number of years, but I'm still acting, I'm still modeling, and so are our members of Lights Camera Access.
Well, you're the perfect example I'll have on the show that, that you should never give up and look at you, even if you're in a wheelchair. And I said that to people, even if you're deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair, but you should never give up or have people label you. And
That's right.
You're an actor. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. No, absolutely. I believe what you're saying.
And that's why, it's funny when I started my talk show, my saying was, I had this, if I had today, I apologize, my mouth is a little dry. I was talking all day. Basically, when my show started, I said, turning myself into a perfect example for people out there deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. And I wish they said something at the time. Instead of waiting after 188 episodes, they say, by the way, you're an idiot. It's like, why? One, you're not in a wheelchair, so you can't be a perfect example for someone. Two, you're not deaf and blind, so I can't be a perfect example for someone. So you're coming off like a hypocrite, and it's kind of, like you couldn't just tell me that in the beginning when I told you all this. And so now my saying is turning myself into a perfect example for people dealing with any type of disability. So you should never label yourself as people label you, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something.
That's right. That's very good.
But
I'm not sure, Keith, if I actually answered your question when I'm thinking back on it. You asked me, I think it was, how did I form the organization? And so I was back saying I was doing musical theater,
right,
stage comedy, but then as my MS deteriorated and got worse, then I could no longer do stage. Not all that well. An example is we don't have many stages here that are accessible for actors or performers. Like, it's accessible to the audience, but many times theaters aren't accessible to the performer. But anyhow, that being said, I was frustrated because I was working also in TV and film. I was frustrated when I was not getting a lot of work and working regularly, that I called my agent and said, what's going on? And she said, well, we don't get many hospital scenes. And I was like, what's that? And she repeated it, we don't get many hospital scenes. And I said, okay, you're fired.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
And like I said, it's uncensored, but I don't mean to sound like a dick, and I apologize.
We have to swear?
Yeah, it's uncensored. You can say anything you want.
Okay, all right.
I was going to ask you is when she said any hospital scenes, and I was thinking, you said you're in a wheelchair. Do you physically have to stay in that chair, or say there was a scene that you can be in another chair, or you can be sitting on the couch, or you can just be in the scene but sitting?
Exactly what you said. Exactly. No, I wasn't, and I'm still not.
Glued.
Glued to the chair. That's a good time. No, I'm not. I can transfer. I can get out and transfer to other seats. Yeah.
So basically, that agent you worked with was an asshole, and two wasn't really passionate about working with you and making your goals happen.
Right. Didn't have like a bigger picture kind of vision.
I understand. I've been around people like that too. It's frustrating.
Yeah, that's true. It is frustrating, and there are many of them out there.
That's true. Like I said, you find more assholes than nice people, but you can count on me. I'm a good person.
Oh, good.
I can die happy knowing that I made a difference in someone's life, even if it was something big or something small. It's the thought that always counts.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Now, now there's a kind of like a delay, so if I cut you off, I apologize.
That's fine.
Now, I was going to ask you a couple easy questions, and then you can say whatever you want and ask me anything you want, normal conversation. So, the first one is, how many years has your company been around? And hypothetically, if I would like to be a part of it, what would be the obstacles?
We've been around for 7 years now, and if someone would want to become a part of it, since it's pretty much based for people with disabilities, you would have to have a disability.
Well, I guess I'm a perfect candidate for that.
That's so true.
Not gotta pat myself on the back, but I'm not proud of it. But hey, if I have it, might as well use it.
That's right. You got it. Exactly.
Now, what do you offer? Like, what do you offer? You offer classes, what services, and what is the major goal? Like, is it like a process, or would I say if I join up would I get something out of it?
I hope you get something out of it. I can't promise anyone employment opportunities.
Right.
Although, we try. But it doesn't cost anything right now, yet. And bless you, Mom. My mom's in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, bless you.
Bless you. So no. I don't know. We offer programs like script writing classes or scene study or on camera classes or behind the camera classes for whether it be things like directing or just basic sound, things like that, camera.
And now the next question I want to ask you is, do you have your own facilities? Say, like, do your own dorms? Do you have where you, people work for you, but they also stay, or do they commute?
No. Basically, we're a virtual office because we're a national organization.
Right.
As a registered charity, we can have offices all across Canada. Now, you're in the United States. We really haven't broached that issue yet, but I'm sure, we're allies, so I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's true. Well, we can talk about more working together afterwards.
Sure.
Now, the other question is, how did everything come about? How did your condition happen? Was it, something you were born with, or something that just developed?
Okay, MS is a disease of the central nervous system, brain, optic nerves, spinal cord. They don't know how someone gets it. And usually it strikes people between the ages of 18 to 40 in the prime time of their lives. No, they don't have a cure or anything like that. But I'm positive. I think they're coming up with things every day. I mean, it may not help me, but what I'm doing for myself is I am setting a goal, which is I want to walk by the Pan Am Games by that time, which is the summer of this year. Now, when I'm talking walking, I'm talking walking with a walker, a tall walker, or a lower walker. I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't look normal walking. I'd have a pretty heavy swag.
Right.
Who knows? But that's a goal I've had for myself, and I'm taking physiotherapy 2 to 3 times a week to try and reach that goal.
Well, congrats.
Thanks.
Now, like I said, this is your time. You can say anything you want. If there's any subjects you're passionate about, you can talk about it. Do you have anything you want to ask me?
I think basically I'm very passionate about lights, camera, access, obviously, and helping move the envelope forward for people with disabilities in the media industry and industries. The media industries are just becoming more digitally savvy, and basically the platforms are changing all the time, and it's so quick. And I can't really keep up with that quickness, but it's something that we here at Lights Camera Access want to maintain, advancing people with disabilities in the entertainment, arts, and digital medias.
All right. Well, going back to talk about your company, that seems to be my main focus, and I'm trying different ways to work on the talk show. But I was keeping on that. You said you're based in Canada, right?
Yes.
How? I love Toronto. Never been,
Toronto's
but
a great city.
never been, but that's I like the name. I plan on visiting, but maybe we can hang out sometime.
Maybe.
Toronto, I like the name, and what's the other one? Thunder Bay, Ontario has a cool name to it.
Okay. Do you know some people up there?
No, that's I guess it's an American thing. I just like the names. The names sound really cool.
That's nice.
I know it sounds ridiculous, like it.
The thing, well, you may not want to visit now because it's freezing.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a bunch of snow outside myself.
Are you too? Is it so cold? Do you have the polar vortex going?
We had it about. Well, I'm from New York, so we had about maybe like a month ago, and that was brutal in negative degrees. Actually, 2 days ago, we got 0 degrees. And I think the next day we got something like 1 degree. But yeah, we do occasionally get that in my categories. But, it's really, I can imagine being in Canada, or Buffalo for that matter. Buffalo got the crap knocked out of it.
It's very, very cold here. And so it's not exactly the place for people with physical disabilities.
Right.
It becomes quite difficult. For instance, if you walk with canes, this is my or if you're in a wheelchair. So you kind of hibernate for the winter months like bears, I guess.
Now, while on the subject of Canada, I don't know if this is just a stereotype or people say it's true or not, but there's 2 Canadians that are the big stars. Yeah, but I'm a big wrestling fan, so according, if you follow wrestling, then you believe whatever they say. But have you ever gotten the opportunity to run into or drive by Trish Stratus or Bret the Hitman Hart?
I have not. But the most interesting thing was one of our members did a documentary on a wrestler. I think it was an older wrestler. Could be. I don't really know the name. I quite don't follow wrestling myself, but yeah. So it was a good one. It was a good documentary.
Yeah, well, I like to see it at sometime.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of people. I used to use his ringtone, but my brother was saying it was being obnoxious. But I can't say anything about him as a human being. But as a professional wrestler, he will always be one of the greatest. And for people who are wondering who I'm hinting towards, that's Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Have you heard the whole story what happened to him? He basically had a breakdown. He killed himself and his wife and his kid.
Oh, the gentleman from Montreal?
Yeah.
Was from Montreal? I believe I did hear something in the news and how terrible that is. Right? Because he must have had, I don't know.
Well, plus he had mental problems, plus the fact you're taking steroids, and then that makes it, that's adding gas to the fire, so so eventually something's gotta pop or snap.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So going back on a happier note, the reason we brought up Canada and everything is you said you're versatile, so you can go anywhere. Yeah, well, so how would I be a part of that? Let's say if I wanted to take acting classes or if I wanted to work with you, how would that?
Yeah, well, if you would, what would happen was for the course for whichever applicant needed at the time. Yeah. And then we check in to make sure you're still there. We say, hey, Andrew, are we boring you yet?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now you said now it's a good time to get into it because, and your mother sneezed, so yeah, it must be a Julius thing, because someone sneezes, it just says, oh, it's true.
Oh.
I don't know if you do that, but it's in my family. Every time someone sneezes, oh, it's true. Or if you're talking about someone and you sneeze, you have to pull your ear up. And
No, I don't know of that. That's funny.
But like I said, I would love to work with you, and if you need help promoting, I'm a good person. You help me, I help you.
For sure. What I don't know how. Like as far as employment wise, I'm not sure we could help you because where are you again?
Oh, New York.
You're in New York?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not too far away, but for instance, we wouldn't really have many contacts there.
Right.
But as far as classes and workshops and things like that, we could Skype you in.
Sure, not a problem. Like, for example, I know there's some classes where you get, like, at the end of it, not like a degree, that's like a little paper saying...
Certificate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys offer something like that?
Yep.
I
I don't know what it... I hope it's good for something.
Right.
But it's not a certification for university or college or anything like that. But it's just saying, hey, you took the course, and isn't that cool? Kind of thing. Yeah.
Now, for media, do you think you're breaking through, or do you think there's some roadblocks, barriers that you're still trying to get over?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, on both accounts. Yes, I do think we're breaking through. Of course, change is slow. But for instance, we also represent print models with disabilities, and so we actually just did an ad for Giant Tiger. I believe it was last year or the year before, and we actually cast about 6 people, so that was good.
So if anyone's getting the message so far, you have to be in Canada for this to actually be on film.
We have a website. You can check the website out. The website's www.lightscameraaccess.ca. And, of course, that goes worldwide.
Right.
And we've done 2 public service announcements, which we think are pretty cool. And people can see that and take a look at the website.
Now, do you think you would be interested in ever going to Comic-Con and presenting your company on a wider scale, or do you think you're not up to that point yet?
All right, in my dreams, of course. I think for now, though, I think we're pretty much sticking in Canada. But you never know, right? You can never say never.
That's true.
The thing is, you have to have the resources, right? And the manpower. 3 years ago, I died 3 times. I had 3 cardiac arrests, and I was in a coma for 10 days, or 7 days. And I'm just really a miracle to be here today. But, that's from a lot of stress and working hard. So I'm kind of slowing it down for myself personally anyway. But we do have a team here. We have a team of about five or six people that do things together, and we try our best. Yeah.
Oh, I think Canada has their own Comic-Con or something similar, right?
I don't know what that
Well,
really...
Comic Con. Comic Con started off as a comic book convention,
yes.
and then it turned into a. It started off as comic books, then they slowly introduced video games, companies, and now it's basically like this Super Bowl because you have comic books, video games,
Wow.
TV stars, the wrestlers, everyone who's big goes there, and you get to meet your favorite fans or superstars and everything.
Oh yeah, we have it here. I'm not sure what it's called. Maybe it is the same thing. But I think we do have that. I think that was just up here, a few months ago.
But I'm saying you're doing a good thing, and you can always plug your company. Use me for a perfect example. I was thinking about, I am gonna go to Comic Con at some point, but I was thinking about having my own table there and introducing myself. That's nice and everything, but then you really need to have like something else. You have business cards and you can hand your cards out to everyone, blah 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 blah, and
then wouldn't you'd have to, of course, you'd have to have resources for that though. It must cost money, right, to become a part of that.
That's a good question. Now I can look into it, but it's, for me, I'd probably be, because it's a one person, but because you're an organization, it'd probably be easier for you. Plus, if they work with you, it's also good PR for them.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you're filling my head with some ideas.
Now, wrapping up, do you have any funny stories you'd like to share, or anything you'd like to say to your fans and listeners?
My fans and listeners, I don't know if I have fans. We do our best, and we do it with kindness all around and equality, so we do our best.